Jason Schreier is an ex-Kotaku journalist who knew about the horrible working conditions at Blizzard but decided not to talk about them until he could profit off of it and release a full book. And now, of course, he has been attacking gamers as chuds for simply talking about their dissatisfaction with Dragon Age the Veilguard, but he has decided to actually delete his posts where he was attacking us. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I do not like Jason Schreier. I've talked about him many times over the years. He has me blocked, and he is someone who just doesn't really like gamers in totality. And just a few days ago, he was attacking us saying, "Get woke, go broke," the top charts, boasting about how well, allegedly, Dragon Age the Veilguard was going, but he actually decided to delete his posts on it, which is, of course, very suspicious. So I did another video. It will be linked down below. But to sum it up, the Bloomberg writer Jason Schreier attacked gamers as chuds and lied about DEI policies. This is a Fandom Pulse article. It says Jason Schreier, who currently writes at Bloomberg, but yes, previously worked at Kotaku, attacked gamers as chuds. On X, he disingenuously attempted to claim that Veilguard was doing well sales-wise, not that he ever really does anything that isn't disingenuous, while posting a photo of the game's peak concurrent player count hitting 58,958 players. And yes, the game did eventually go up quite a bit. It hit a peak of 70,000 in its first day and attained an all-time peak of 77k players in its second day. So it's not like it was a total failure across the board, but when you consider this is EA and Bioware, an established franchise that millions of people should want to line up to buy, it didn't sound good. And we are also hearing that the numbers in totality are actually atrocious. It's not just Steam that isn't doing as great. Apparently on Xbox, there were tons of, pre-order cancellations. And on PlayStation, the same thing's kind of happening. We don't have solid numbers there, but it seems that across the board, this game has not done what you would expect Dragon Age to do. Allegedly, again, rumor, take it with a grain of salt, it has not even hit 1 million sales, which is even worse than Star Wars Outlaws, but in response to one user asserting that there's no way you genuinely like this turd, Jason Schreier thought in order to shill for Veilguard, he would say that he didn't like the game, but then say, I still want it to succeed to own the chuds, which is such a brain-dead take. When I don't like a game, I say I don't like a game, and I do not defend it just because, somebody's behind it that I want to succeed, or, just because I want to own the journos. No, if I expect a game to be good and it is bad, I do not care who is behind it. I do not care how much it would own the journos. I would say that it's not good. But he decided to come out and say, I actually don't like the game very much, but I do like seeing you chuds get dunked on. What a professional thing to say, right? A guy that constantly says he is above content creators online. Same with like Alyssa Mercante, for example. The work that I do is professional, but the work you do isn't. But you go on social media and you constantly spew hatred towards people you do not like. And keep in mind, he's still writing about the video game industry, so he needs gamers to read his articles. It's just such a losing strategy. Someone else said, in other words, you don't actually care about the game, you just want to feel your wokeism validated. Yes. That's the answer. Yes, that's all that he cares about. He just cares about his politics winning in the end. It is such an awful thing to do and to say. He just wants people to lose because he doesn't like who you vote for. He doesn't like the games you want to succeed, like Hogwarts Legacy, Wukong, Stellar Blade. And he tries to say, no, that's not the case. I'm simply sharing another data point to support what I've been trying to explain for years now. Your data point is weak. You look at games like Black Myth Wukong, 2.3 million players all-time peak. Look at Hogwarts Legacy, 850,000 people all-time peak. We're talking about games after games after games here that, yes, I get it, Harry Potter's a massive franchise, but it still was not in an existing series of video games. Black Myth Wukong, indie development team, still not in an established franchise of games. We are talking about standalones, and I know Hogwarts Legacy is getting sequel, and I'm sure Black Myth Wukong will as well, but at this point in time, they don't. Dragon Age has multiple titles to back up this franchise, to prop up this franchise, so those people you'd think would show up to buy this, and they didn't. 100,000 people, and it didn't even hit that, is not a good number for a series like this. You cannot convince me that it sold millions of copies on the other consoles. You cannot sit here and say that because the numbers are typically very close. I doubt this game sold over 1 million copies in totality, and according to rumors, it didn't. But now Jason Schreier has decided to try and hide, but ha ha ha. The internet never forgets. We have screenshots, we have archives. It's like I did a video a couple of days ago on this. My video is still up. It still highlights these posts, and his initial thread where he started it saying get woke, go broke, the top charts, that post was deleted by the author. He got absolutely wrecked by gamers. What did he expect? Instead of, quote, acting professional like he claims to do, he just went on social media and attacked people, and that is not a winning strategy, and everyone is still pointing and laughing at him. This is the guy who calls us chuds. If this game is selling well, the trade value would not be this low. That is terrible. Cash up to $14 store credit for the regular value, and the Pro is only $15.40 and $22. That is abysmal. Get woke or lose 50% of the player base in 4 days. Get on ice. Cold one for you, Jason. Diet Coke. And that is exactly what he is doing. I mean, we're only not even, let's be honest, 2 weeks from release. We're barely a week and a half from release, and it's sitting at 21,000 players. And I totally get it, right? Single player titles, people play them and then they leave. They only come back when there's new content being released. But my goodness gracious, this is supposed to be a 50 to 80 hour game if you are doing all of the side quests. And already people do not want to come back. People are not even finishing the game. People are pointing and laughing at him because he's trying to convince us that, companies like Sweet Baby Inc. do not push DEI into games, and DEI is not a factor in whether games do or do not sell. But that's not the truth. The truth is that when you have a consultation company trying to actively help a company push a narrative, or you have developers that are pushing a narrative first, it is going to kill your game. I love diversity and inclusivity in my entertainment when it is done naturally, when you simply have a creative who wanted to throw in this type of character. But when you have a checklist and you can tell a company has a checklist, it is a losing strategy. We are going to point, we are going to laugh, and we are going to call you out on your bullshit. If DEI was truly not a factor, we would have seen games like Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League do crazy because it's part of the Arkhamverse, right? No. You turned Harley into a raging feminist. You turned Ivy into Greta Thunberg. You have male characters like, Boomerang, who are pissing on these legendary Justice League characters. You have the desecration of storylines like Batman's, for example. These are not things that people want in their video games. People do not want Flintlock, The Siege of Dawns, where it's got mediocre combat, but hey, at least it's got a strong, independent woman as the lead. People do not want Concords that have mediocre gameplay, a $40 buy-in price, awful maps, generic abilities, and then the modern audience character treatment. These are things that do not work. So right now, Jason Schreier seems to be seething over the fact that gamers called him out, and he's trying to hide the posts that he's made, but luckily, the internet never forgets. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.